Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praises to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray that the Most High blesses this lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand the events that are currently happening on earth, so we get a much better understanding of things that are soon to come on the earth. I got quite a bit of information to bring to you this evening, but we're going to first start with a few things that are going on in the news, and then understand them through our spiritual understanding and not through the carnal understanding of the Gentiles. I saw a little bit earlier today and a little bit through one of Lisa's videos today, Lisa Cabrera's videos, when they were talking about how they're now trying to say that many of the people in the black community are contracting CV more than other people. Now we know, this isn't true. And of course, there are going to be people that look like us that are going to contract this disease because again, Esau has put everything into black and white. See, 2/3 of our own people are not going to make it. 2/3 of our own people have been told the truth and have rejected it. So they've opened themselves up to getting sick. So just because you see some so-called black people getting sick, that doesn't mean that the Most High is not covering his people. He's just choosing to cover the ones that he's already predetermined, that he's already chosen. Many times our people say that there's many of our own people, that are mixed in with all the other nations. And there's many other nations that are mixed in that look like us. And many of those people have gone, as in the last video, have been in that river and just going with the flow, never going upstream. And as many people as we've talked to, you guys know there's plenty of people that we are of our own brethren that we try to tell the truth to, but they chose to go with the flow, go downstream, and be hand in hand with Esau and the Gentiles. Well, now, many of those people are going to end up getting caught up in a lot of these different plagues. This is not the only plague that's coming. There's plenty of other ones that are going to be coming. So if people make it through this one, there's more things to come. There's more things happening every single day. But I brought that up so we can continue with this. Remember, what is it that all these other nations want? They want to return back to normal, right? We've already talked about that before. They want things to go back to the way things were before. They don't want people to really think that now the plagues are shifting. So what are they going to do in order to ease people's minds and ease their spirits? They're going to come out with stories saying that, oh, well, it's these Negroes that are catching the CV more than us. So therefore, that's code for them for they're still under the curses. We still have them under our foot. That's what they want to get, the Gentiles and the other nations to know or to think, is that we are still under the curses. We're still drinking that cup with the dregs in it, and it's not their turn and it's not their time to drink that cup just yet. So that's why they're coming up with these stories, saying that, oh, well, yeah, disproportionately, these people in this city here is only 50% black people here, but 60 or 70% of them are catching CV. Well, then come to find out in the story that the sister was talking about how she went to the doctor and they just looked at her symptoms and labeled her as having, CV and sent her home, but never tested her. And from what Lisa was talking about in her video, I think she said she found around at least 3 people that went to the doctors. They just looked at the symptoms, never tested them, and then diagnosed them with having CV. Now, see, when you're trying to push a certain narrative, like they always have, that we've been under the curses and that we're under them, and now at this time, when the curses are coming after them, they still want to make people feel comfortable. So therefore, they set up a whole narrative on how we're the ones, people of color, are the ones that are catching CV. Were they the ones that were catching it over in Europe most of the time too? or it just means they just want to make sure that over here in our lands, they're just trying to show that we're the ones that are still catching it because we're the ones that are under the curses. See, that kind of confirms what we've been teaching. See, over in Europe, they had no problem saying it was, the Europeans that were catching CV. But over here, because they know that we were put into slavery on our own lands, it's really important for them to show how so-called black people are the ones that are, catching CV on their own lands because they're still trying to push that narrative. And like we said, 2/3 of our own people, yep, they're going to catch whatever plagues the Most High has set up for them. So I don't have any, that's why you can never go with the all black, Hebrew thing. I said, because many people in our own nation are wicked. And not only that, we also got many people that look like us that are our cousins. So, it's like I said, so it's not as simple as all blacks and all whites. You can have plenty of different people that look, that look different, that are going to catch whatever plagues the Most High sends. All we can do is pray that, the chosen, we already know that the chosen people are going to be covered. So when you start to see how certain people aren't getting affected, it's just because, the Most High is protecting them. And see, that's what we're going to be getting into right now. We're going to be getting into the Kolbrin Bible and the destroyer section. Today we're going to read about the dark days, which is within that destroyer section. When I did a video a few days ago, we're going to get into that heavy over the next few days. I said, because now the Most High is bringing all this information together. This is like what I'm seeing with this section right here this is prophecy continued where the Bible left off. So the Bible leaves off because as it's the Southern Kingdom's records, and you're pretty much left open to just guess and make up an ending. And since the Edomites and the Gentiles have had our records, they've pretty much taken full. They're taking that full force. They're taking full advantage of that situation, and they've made up, the whole ending of how things are going to go down, and things are not working out that way whatsoever. They came up with that whole chip thing. They came up with the whole 7-year tribulation thing. They just made all this stuff up so that there are people who can just go about just like they are right now, clueless, thinking that, hey, they're still going to get raptured away. Even though, like I said, the churches are closed, institutions are closed, and they've just been left, they've been abandoned by the elites for the most part. So we're going to read some real quick, and I'm going to show you how a lot of hidden scriptures go along with what's in the Kolbrin Bible, as well as it's in the Bible as well, but it's a little bit more hidden. This stuff is pretty much just straight. This is how it was in the past, and this is how it's going to be here at the end. And all we got to do now is look at what's going on today and these events that are happening right now, and it confirms what's here in the Kolbrin Bible. It's going to confirm what's in the Odes of Solomon. It's going to show you what's going to be coming in the future in Enoch. I said, so we can go all over the place. I see now why the Most High got me into all these other books, so that as he starts bringing more things out here at the end, all this stuff is going to connect. It's like a very long process to bring all this information together. But it also exposes all these people who only want to be stuck in 80 books as well. So because you can't get this understanding with just one book. And it helps you to understand why they've hidden so many of our books. And they put them under like occult and witchcraft and things like that so that we would never read them. Here we go. That's what my Kolbrin Bible looks like right here. And this we're going to read right here. Just one little section. There's a whole lot in here. But I'm going to bring out this today, and we're going to connect it with some other books, and you're going to see how it all connects. And then just look at your society today, and it's going to make so much sense as to what you're seeing going on right now. Here we go. Chapter 6, The Dark Days. The dark days began with the last visitation of the destroyer, and they were foretold by strange omens in the skies. All men were silent and went about with pale faces. So we've had all these strange omens, blood moons, eclipses, all these things happening for years. Just like during the times of the Aztecs. There's all those omens years before the Spanish showed up, years before the destruction arrived, there was all these omens. Well, we've had all these omens pertaining to something horrible coming in the future. Well, that horrible thing has now begun. And that's why now, in that last sentence, all men were silent and went about with pale faces. So right now, like you said, everyone's, the society's been shut down. People are silent. They got these pale, scared faces. And you see them trying to stick with things as normal as possible. Today I was cracking up looking at some of the stories on YouTube talking about they're trying to have a horse competition for basketball because they need some kind of entertainment. They're talking about, well, LeBron will, can he still win a championship next year? I did hear something rather amusing on CNN, how they were talking about how they're not going to have any sports. Sports won't start up at least not until Thanksgiving. You imagine these people trying to go all the way till November with no sports? You know how crazy these people are going to get? Said because, they keep, it's just, they were asking about their summer vacations. I said, I told you like in the last video, slavery to them is like not being able to go on vacation, not being able to enjoy, their blessings here. And you can see it. They're always like, hey, I need a vacation. Man, we barely started 1 month into this, a couple months into this. And people are already starting to lose their minds. But let's continue. These were days of ominous calm when the people waited. Oh, hold on. No, go back up. Sorry, I skipped a one. The leaders of the slaves, which had built a city to the glory of Thom, stirred up unrest, and no man raised his arm against them. All right, this is really important. The leaders of the Israelites are going to stir up unrest, and no man raised his arm against them. Now, the real leaders right now are bringing out this truth, putting these books together. They are making the other nations feel very uncomfortable. They're stirring up unrest. See, these churches have been set up, and they've done a great job of keeping our people docile, keeping our people ignorant, keeping our people asleep. Well, the Most High is going to raise up his own pastors who he's going to give that information to, and they're going to stir up unrest. They're going to be bringing up information. They're going to be exposing these churches. They're going to be exposing Good Times Jesus, which then, stirs up unrest. That's exactly what's been going on. It's been going on for years, but it's been ratcheted up in the last year with the two sticks coming together. That is making all the other nations, very uncomfortable. And now that we're bringing this information out and showing the truth, they have no recourse. They have nothing that they can do. You see that? Now, see, before, they would be able to shut this information down, and when people tried to bring out any kind of information, it got shut down. Well, now it's showing you that we're at a different time. We've come to the end of the 400 to 500 years of captivity, and now the Most High is raising up his men to be the ones that are going to stir up unrest by bringing first this knowledge and understanding of the scriptures, and be able to bring together hidden scriptures, lost scriptures, set first and second stick, and all that information. And then the other nations will not be able to stand up to it. And as you can see, as the Most High gave us that information, he's the one that has shut down all these other religions. So now they have no recourse. At this point, we have a very captive audience. We have a very captive audience. I saw a commercial from from Houston, and one of the mega pastor from Houston, and hold on fast, and he had a commercial going on, and it was about hope. I'm sure you guys have probably seen it. Hold on fast. It was all about hope and pretty much and all this other stuff. And Joel Osteen, And not one scripture, not one thing talking about the Most High. It was just about, not being captive to fear and hope. And I'm sure you guys have probably seen this commercial. It's just, all it is a feel good. All it was a feel good commercial. That's all that it was. Because that's all that it is. It's not about scriptures whatsoever. And that's what the Most High is showing, that they have nothing. They just go in, like I said, like we talked about the whorehouses. They make you feel good for a couple of days and then bring you back, and you pay to feel good again in a few days. Now let's continue, because it's going to show you right here. We got the leaders of the slaves which had built a city to the glory of Thom stirred up unrest, and no man raised his arm against them. So trust me, if they wanted to shut this stuff down, if they could shut this stuff down, they already would have. But the Most High is the one who's in charge of the right-hand side and the left-hand side. It says, they foretold great events, of which the people were ignorant, and of which the temple seers were not informed. See, the temple seers are these ones who are still stuck on 7-year tribulation. They're the ones stuck on Mark of the Beast. They're the ones stuck on Christian Christian dogma. They're still stuck on left behind dogma, because they have no understanding. And don't assume that those are only people that are in these that were in these churches. There's many people that look like us that still push all that same rhetoric. Okay, so we're foretelling. They foretold great events of which the people were ignorant. So we're talking about what's going to happen here in the future, because the people were ignorant, because a lot of this information has been hidden. It's been hidden on purpose, and it talks about that in here as well. We're not going to get into all of this right now, because I said, it's so much information, but we're going to show you how it's all coming together, how the Most High is going to sweep the other nations off of our land, how the Most High is going to restore his chosen people and the ones that he and the Gentiles that he decides to keep here, how he's going to make everyone go back to their lands. That's the things that are the whole world is ignorant of, because it's been hidden. All they tell you is, America's going to be destroyed, and that's it. No one's going to live here anymore. See, that's what Edomite doctrine is. That's what Edomites do. All they do is destroy. So for them, everything is about destruction. Destroy everything. Because, right? Is that not what they do? They're not good at putting things together. They're good at destroying everything. So at the end, what's going to be their whole dogma at the end? Everything's going to be destroyed, because that's all that they know. They don't know about renewal. See, that's what our people know about. Living with the land, renewing the land. So remember now in Proverbs 29, when the Most High raises up his people, the world is going to rejoice. Why is that? Because his people are all about renewing. The Most High's chosen people is all about renewing the land, living with the land. It says when the wicked rule, everything is mourning. Why? Because all they know about is destruction. And that's all they know. So since that's all that they know, even in their end times understanding, it's all about just death and destruction. That's all they know. Now, and you see, they foretold great events. So we're telling you about these great events, the renewal of our lands and the renewal of our people. And that's something that these pastors don't talk about. Okay? They talk about getting raptured up somewhere and going somewhere else after they destroyed everything, and getting a chance to, getting their opportunity to renew things in another land or whatever else. All right? So we're foretelling of these great events that are soon to come. The Most High empowering his people and restoring everything back to the Most High and putting back everything back in order. That's what we're talking about. And like I said, these other temple seers, their pastors, their priests, they're not informed. The Most High has not given them this knowledge and understanding, so therefore they can't tell you the truth. All right, let's continue. These were days of ominous calm, when the people waited for they knew not what. The presence of an unseen doom was felt. The hearts of men were stricken. Okay, so that's exactly what we're living in right now. People just waiting for that shoe to drop. Laughter was heard no more, and grief and wailing sounded throughout the land. Even the voices of children were stilled, and they did not play together, but stood silent. All right, schools closed, parks closed, malls closed, no more activities, no more sports, kids being stuck in their homes, not being able to go out, and fraternize with the other kids, all that stuff. That's what's going on right here. See, these are the things that were taken out of the Bible. These are the things that were taken out of the scriptures. These are things that were hidden. So see, and that's why with the Bible only, you could live your life all the way to the end and then just say Jesus at the end and you think you'd be good. Or you could live your life and go to, those whorehouses, those churches, and then you would be thinking that you were just going to get raptured away. That's why the 80 books were given to you, so that you can live harmoniously all the way to the end. And most think that as long as they do, what their priest said, what their pastor said, that if they died or if they made it to the end, they were just going to be whisked away and they were going to see any of this destruction. Well, this is letting you know that we've already entered into that time period and that we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. And it also talks about how the leader of the slaves were going to be stirring up unrest. And how is that? Right now, by giving you knowledge and understanding, giving you the correct knowledge and understanding, breaking things down the way that no other of these pastors and priests were able to, bringing together, the Bible along with other hidden books, along with historical texts, and giving all that information and giving understanding. That's what was talked about right here. So you've now seen that, how these priests and pastors couldn't do that. People stuck in only 80 books can't do that. And how the Most High was going to raise up his own men in order to be able to do that. And we've come together now as a nation with more knowledge and understanding. Our men and our women are coming together and bringing knowledge and understanding together. And we're able to bring this understanding worldwide. Just like he said in the Book of Mormon, as we grew, he was going to be taking out the people who produce bad fruit. And those people that produce bad fruit are not just Gentiles. There are also many Hebrews, 2/3 Hebrews that aren't going to make it, who produce bad fruit as well. Now look at the bottom. The slaves became bold and insolent, and women were the possession of any man. Fear walked the land, and women became barren with terror. They could not conceive, and those with child aborted. All men closed up within themselves. So eventually, shit's going to hit the fan. And it talks about how, the slaves, the Hebrews, okay, we're going to become more bold and insolent. They're going to become empowered. And that's what it talks about all over the scriptures as well. So this is showing you how close we are to some kind of a huge change going on. Because a lot of the stuff that happened at the top has already happened. We've already had the leaders who've been now preaching and teaching for the last year about the first and second stick, giving more knowledge and understanding, having more knowledge and understanding of what's in these books, bringing out this understanding of, what the Most High's true plan was, and where our lands were, and how the Most High is going to empower us in our lands. You see how this is all working out. So this is showing you the order of how things are going to happen. We've already now gotten to the days where everything is now stood still. We've now come to the days where there's no more school. People are stuck in their homes. You already get to the point where the presence of the unseen doom is being felt right now. The hearts of men are stricken. You're already seeing that happening right now. And you can hear, as you watch the news, you can hear about them trying their best to, put the lipstick on the pig again, trying to make the situation look like it's going to eventually go back to normal. How they're, talking about how, we're flattening the curve so things are getting better, when we know that's not the case. Now they're coming out with stories to try to make it seem as if Jake is the one that's being afflicted so that they can feel like we're still under the curses on our own lands. See how all these things are working. See how it's all making sense. To the ones who have their eyes open, it's crystal clear. And Most High is, moving the brethren to Cassandra to work on, get these notebooks out. We've already got 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the website. brothers Rick and Teddy, maintaining the website so that you guys can go over there and get information, on BigJudah.com and learn as much as you can because you're stuck at home and you have time. That's what's going on right now. Now I'm going to show you some other scriptures that shows you how this stuff was already written, and now you know why why these books have been hidden. We're going to take a look at the Odes of Solomon. Okay. Main thing on this one I want to say is about they stir up unrest and no man raised his arm against them. That's what I'm going to get into right now. Let's see here where I want to start at. We'll start at 3. You have restrained those who rise up against me, and they did not appear again, because your face was with me, which saved me by your grace. But I was despised and rejected in the eyes of many, and I was in their eyes like lead. Okay? So talk about how we were at the bottom. How nobody, and even still, they're still talking all this shit about us, but that's okay. No problem. You guys keep doing that. And I acquired strength from you and help. Okay, so he's going to strengthen us, right? And he's going to be our help, our power. A lamp you set for me both on my right and on my left, so that there might not be in me anything that is not light. And I was covered with the covering of your spirit, and I removed from me my garments of skin, because your right hand raised me and caused sickness to pass from me. So that's what's going on right now. We're being covered by the Most High. As these sicknesses and plagues are spreading worldwide, we know that the Most High has us in his hands and he's covering us. Okay? And I became mighty in your truth and holy in your righteousness. So as we, get that truth, we get that knowledge and understanding, we become mighty in his truth. And all my adversaries were afraid of me. And I became the Lord's. I became the Lord's by the name of the Lord. So again, now we're talking about the other nations being afraid, not touching us, whatever else, because the Most High put that fear in them like he used to do before. Okay, and I was justified by his kindness, and in his rest is forever and ever. So that's what we're talking about. We're going on right now. Okay, same kind of order that was talked about there in the Kolbrin Bible, right? You got because your right hand raised me and caused sickness to pass from me. That's what's going on right now. And I became mighty in your truth, okay, and holy in your righteousness. So right now, especially when we're all stuck in our homes, many people are reading, getting more knowledge and understanding, being led by the Spirit. Now there's no pastors anymore or priests. So now we're becoming mighty in this truth. So once you become mighty in that truth, while he's protecting you, then what happens? And all my adversaries were afraid of me, and I became the Lord's by the name of the Lord. Then the Most High calls out his people, and he shows who his people are. You see that? So it's following the same pattern. It's following exactly the same pattern. So you can start. I got so many more from the Odes of Solomon. This is just one I'm just bringing out right now. But same pattern. Everything gets shut down. Gets shut down by this virus. Get a chance to, get mighty in the truth. More knowledge and understanding. Then after that, and all my adversaries were afraid of me. See, this is why all these books are hidden. That's why they gave you just their interpretation of the end, and that was it. Next one. This is from, let's see here, chapter 89 in my Sefer, the book of Enoch. Kind of showing again what's going on. Yahweh opened the Sefer of destruction, of that destruction which the last 12 shepherds wrought, and pointed out before Yahweh of the sheep, that they destroyed more than those who preceded them. So these other ones, these last, few shepherds have been destroying way more of our people. And the Most High has been keeping track the entire time. All right. And see, they're begging to go back to be able to do that again. That's why they're making up all these stories about us catching the virus more than everybody else. So they can have that feeling that they're still on top of us and that we're still drinking from the cup of the dregs. All right. Let's see here. I saw also that Yahweh of the sheep came to them, and taking in his hand the scepter of his wrath, seized the earth. Okay? So right now, he's taken that. He's already taken back control of the earth. All right? He's already taken their power away. He's just using this first plague here just to get all that started right now. All right. Let's see here. Which became rent asunder, while all the beasts and birds of heaven fell from the sheep and sunk into the earth, which closed over them. So you got all these people already they're trying to get a little early start on it, a little early start on the run, and they're already running to their bunkers and everything else. Okay. I saw too that a large sword was given to the sheep. All right. So the Most High is going to empower his people right there. Just like I talked about in the other two books. And what happened to the animals that had been destroying them? What did they do? Did they stand up and fight, or what did they do? Let's see. I saw too that the large sword was given to the sheep, who went forth against all the beasts of the field to slay them. But what did they do? But all the beasts and birds of heaven fled away from before their face. So again, it's following the same pattern. Most High empowers his people, and the other people just run away. They're scared. Okay, same thing. Same thing. And then what's going to happen later on? And I saw a throne erected in a delectable land. Those are our lands. Okay. And then upon this sat Yahweh of the sheep, who received all the sealed books. Okay. And we'll get into that later in another video. But the delectable land will be the Most High's chosen lands. Again, here we go. We're following the same patterns. Okay. Except they didn't tell you about how society was going to be just shut down. Right. And that the Most High is going to be raising up people from the Hebrews to be able to give knowledge and understanding. And people are going to become much more strong in the faith before the other shoe drops. So you got here Zechariah 2. We're going to read this right here. And you just got to listen to some of the words and you start to see how it follows the same pattern. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. So here, we were in dwelling with the daughters of Babylon. We've been dwelling with these whorehouses, with these spirits all around us. They've been dwelling here in our lands together with us. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. So all you other nations have been touching the apple of the Most High's eye. And that's what's going on right now. And he's going to get recompense for you guys doing that. For behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. So he's going to empower his people, and the other nations are going to be a spoil to their servants. And we've been the servants. We were the ones that have been the servant, not 99% of us, because we've all gone through slavery. It's been a certain group of people that have been the servants, and he's going to split it up. He's going to flip it upside down. The last will be first, the first will be last. So again, for behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. Just exactly like all those other books just said. And ye shall know that the Most High of hosts hath sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, saith the Most High. There you go. There goes your Enoch right there. How the Most High flips everything, empowers his people, gets them off the land. He comes and lives with us. He dwells with us. Same thing. Okay? And telling us to sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, saith the Lord. So that 9 is very important, because that 9, verse 9, shows everything that I was just talking about. How, how he's going to flip everything. But in the Kolbrin Bible, it shows you the order of how that flipping is to occur. The other scriptures don't tell you exactly how that's going to happen here at the end. But the Kolbrin Bible is telling you that. We'll go back and review that in a minute. And many nations shall be joined to the Lord in that day, and shall be my people. And I will dwell in the midst of thee. And thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me unto thee. So it's talking about even between us and also the Gentiles that the Most High are raised up. They're going to know the truth. That's what's going on right here. And the Lord shall inherit Judah, his portion, in the Holy Land, and shall choose Jerusalem again. So he's going to bring back all 12 tribes again, right here. Be silent, O all flesh, before the Lord, for he is raised up out of his holy habitation. All right? So let me go back real fast because that 9 again, I want to make sure I review that. For behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. And ye shall know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me. Yeah, we know there's going to be a flip, but see, in the Bible, it's going to tell you how that flip is going to occur. So that's why, the Gentiles were able to just kind of make up whatever it is they wanted to do. So let's go back here real quick. Oops. So here, it's telling you how that flip is going to occur, right? Talks about all men are going to be silent, and with their pale faces. You shut down everything. You start showing them the truth. You start showing them all the lies. They're going to get silent. They're going to get scared. And that's what's going on right now. It says the leaders of the slaves, which had built a city to the glory of Thom, stirred up unrest, and no man raised his arm against them. So it's telling you that the true Israelites are going to be ones called up at the end. They're going to be the ones that are going to be giving more knowledge, understanding. And it says right there, they foretold great events of which the people were ignorant, and of which the temple seers were not informed. They're the ones that came in and talked about this being our land, how the Most High is going to renew us in our lands, give us a more knowledge, understanding, bringing the first and second sticks together, bringing the other books together. That's a whole part of stirring up unrest. There's a whole lot of unrest right now. And it's because of this knowledge and understanding that is going out. Everything revolves around us. Everything revolves around the Most High's chosen people. So the only ones that are going to be stirring up unrest are going to be the Most High's chosen people, because everyone else goes down the stream. They follow the regular course of the river. So how is it going to be them that's going to stir up unrest? All they do is just go with the flow. So it has to be the people who are going upriver, upstream. Those are the ones that are going to be stirring up unrest. And as we stir up the unrest, no man raised his arm against them. No one is going to raise their arm up against us. No one's going to be able to stop what the Most High is bringing out. So that's what's been going on for like the last year, and it's going on even more so right now. So then these were days of ominous calm when the people waited for what they knew not. So everything shuts down. Most people are in their homes. Society's been turned upside down. You see how that works? So the presence of an unseen doom was felt. That's what's going on right now. People know that something's coming, but they don't know exactly what it is. The hearts of men were stricken, and that's exactly what's going on right now. Laughter was heard no more, and grief and wailing sounded throughout the land. That's what's to come. But that's happening right now. Many people are grieving and wailing when they're complaining about not being able to go back to the normal, not being able to go back to the way things were. They're already wailing. They're already grief-stricken. And then even the voices of the children were stilled, and they did not play together, but stood silent. So school shut down. Everything shut down worldwide. Those are the things that were happening now in Zechariah before all that. And then what happens next? The slaves became bold and insolent, and women were the possession of any man. So that's just talking about how the Most High raises up his people, and everything just, goes crazy. So now when you go back to Zechariah 9, now you see how that works out. For behold, I will shake mine hand upon them. So that's what he's setting up everything right now. And they shall be a spoil to their servants. We've been the servants, they've been the head, or, they've been the head, we've been the tail. Most High switches it up. There you go. Hopefully that makes much more sense now as to where we are in prophecy. One thing I want to finish up with, one of my other verses here just came to mind, so I was going to go ahead and share it real fast. Let's go to Isaiah 14, 1 through 3. For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Israel. So once everything goes crazy, the people will be cleaving to Israel, to the true Israelites. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. So there it is with the whole servant. The people who were on top are going to be given to the hands of the servants. Right there again. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors. There's the flip. There's a flip like again. And it shall come to pass in the day of that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. So all these people who keep coming over here talking about how they were in charge, I guess they've been in charge doing all these things for all these years. Well, show me that in the Bible how, or any scriptures where you're going to be in charge for thousands and thousands of years here, and then you're going to be in charge when the Most High comes and flips everything. The whole thing is making the first last and the last first. One verse does not nullify all these different verses as well as all this historical fact. So, like I said, now we're starting to see how the Kolbrin Bible and these other scriptures, they show how things are going to go forward. You can't find that in the Bible. All you can do is guess, but now you're getting a more understanding as to how all of this is going to work out. All praises to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.